Okay, so guys, we're going to start with SAS crash course, which is going to be 5 days program, and how these 5 days has been designed. We will talk about mostly about the SAS programming and the navigation part. Then tomorrow, day two, we are going to talk about SAS joining, which is all about vertical join, horizontal joins with how to go for creating advanced joining with subqueries, relationship, and data model designing. That is going to be the second day, which is day two. Day three will talk about SAS functions, character numeric datetime functions, followed by SAS advanced functions towards manipulating the data. That is where we can say we completed day one, day two, day three is all about base SAS, end to end, the programming part. Day four, we'll take 2 hours class. We'll talk about SAS SQL programming, how to use SQL engine in SAS to run proc SQL programming. We'll complete whole SQL programming into SAS environment. That will take 2 hours on day four. Day five, 3 hours, we'll be doing hands-on with the SAS macro with automations. What could be the possible interview questions can be asked mostly from the macro side. Real-time practical work, how to answer them, will be completing in the day five for 3 hours on SAS macro. So I'm going to start the day one class today, which is all about SAS programming, navigations, and basic understanding about the SAS programming from data reading, data transformation, and data manipulation today itself. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to open my SAS window where I'll write the program. First, I'll go to Google. I'll search for SAS on demand. The moment I click on SAS on demand, it will open. Yes. The moment I click on it, it will ask me to access the SAS Studio. I must have created my login ID password. The moment I click on access, it will ask me. It is already connected with my ID. I will just say lunch. The moment I say lunch, it will take initially little more time towards launching this program for me. Let me explain you guys how to start working into the SAS environment. The moment you have your login ID, you will get into SAS Studio where you can see it is for the SAS programmer, and you can also go for sign out yourself. Very next in the left side, which is called as a server files and the folders. Below here, you can see it is given tasks and the utilities. The moment you click on this, you can see certain tasks and utilities, whatever you have done is going to come here. Snippets, we'll talk about snippets later, but mostly we need to work with the libraries. So we'll understand what is called permanent library, what is called temporary library, while we'll work into libraries part. Very importantly, we should understand the server file and the folders. Let me click on that. When I want to go for creating a folder for my class today, I will be saying here, right click, go to, just go to the files, right click, new, and create a folder. The folder which I want to create it, I'll say that SAS crash course 2025-10. So this is something I give this as my folder name. Now inside this folder, I want to create my subfolders like day one. I will be creating here a folder called day two. I will be going for creating another folder called day three. I'll going to create one more folder, which is called my day four. I will be creating a folder here, which is called day five. Now, each folder I created as per my content, what I want to cover up, what I want to cover up from day one to day five. In this day one, also I have to create subfolders. One is for raw data. You can see inside your day one, you have a raw data folder. I'll create one more folder inside this, which is called a2.sas code. I'll also create one more folder here, which is going to be a3.sas output. Sorry, this folder, which I want to create this as rename, called SAS datasets. Then I'll go for creating one more folder inside this here, which is called a4.sas output. Remember guys, whenever you will be working in SAS, you must design your folder structure right from raw data to code to datasets to output. Now, since I have created these all 4 folders, now let me start with first your programming part. For the programming, I can right click on the SAS code, create new, create something called SAS programming F4. The moment you click on this program one, which is created here, you can save this program. Now it will ask you where you want to save this program. I want to save this program into my SAS crash code 2025-10. Going to the SAS code, I will be saying, I'll say that day one code. And the SAS code is going to store with the extension called .sas. So this is where I'm storing my code now. Now, if I expand this folder, I can see my code is here. If I double click on this code, the code window which is going to open here, right? So in this code window, what I have to do here, I will be going back to my content which I've written here. Let me copy all these contents here which I want to do in the class today. So I paste all the content here. What is happening when I paste this content by default is coming with what? This pointer. So better what I'll do here, Control G. I will paste this to a notepad. Let me search for the notepad. I open a notepad. I'll say Control C, Control H. Where is finding? Just replace this blank. Right. So this is the content. I can copy this here and I can paste it. So these are the content what we're going to do today's class. I'll just select this here. In SAS, before you write this, let me tell you guys how to go for commenting. If you want to comment, let's say I write DVAnalytics. I want to comment this control question mark to comment, control question mark to uncomment. So for us, since we have written all this content to be completed, I'll just select this all. I'll say control question mark. So I have commented them all. So I'll be starting with one by one as per the content to explain you about the SAS programming today. The first content which I want to do it here, let me copy this. I'll put a line as the divider, post which I would be writing this content to do one after another. The first thing I'll be doing it here today about SAS and its component I need to understand. So guys, SAS stands for Statistical Analysis System. Okay. So when Python was not there, when R was not there, it was SAS, which is mostly used for business applications using predictive modeling or advanced analytics techniques. So SAS is coming with SAS components. The SAS component starts with first, it is DBMS programming. Second, SAS came up with a solution which is called business intelligence and data warehousing, right? So we call this as BIDW. Then SAS came up with predictive modeling. Then SAS came up with machine learning. Then SAS came up with deep learning. And today SAS is also operating with SAS GenAI models. Now, these are the components in SAS which is important. To start SAS, we must understand SAS programming. And SAS programming divided into two parts. One is called base SAS, second one is called advanced SAS, where we use SAS SQL, SAS macro programming language. Is this clear now, guys, to all?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right. Now, since I completed this part, I'll go for the next, where we talk about SAS with other platform. When we say SAS programming is not limited to SAS platform. What does it mean? SAS goes with SAS Pi in Python. SAS goes with R called SAS engine in R. SAS goes with other BI application. That means the programming of SAS that leads to other platform as well. For example, just to show you or get your confidence, if I say SAS programming in other platform, it shows that using SAS with Python, using SAS Py, R plus SAS integration, that is SAS engine, SAS into cloud where you can use AWS, Azure, Google Cloud through SAS via, which is important. Now, SAS integration with database and BI tools like Oracle, SQL, Snowflake, Teradata, you can also start using SAS to that. SAS with Excel also can be used, SAS via with API integration. So it can be compatible to your Big Data and Hadoop platform also. So do not consider SAS is only for SAS platform. It goes to n number of compatibility where companies start using SAS programming because it is much easier towards manipulation. When you say SAS as a software solution, it comes with SAS Enterprise Guide. It comes with SAS E Minor. It comes with SAS Studio. It comes with SAS Via. So these are the software as a solution which is available in the market, and that is where you have to have an understanding about SAS. SAS, many people they say that we don't want to do SAS because SAS is saturating. SAS is not at all saturating. Remember this. If you talk about the industry where SAS is still demand, if I talk about the industries, let me search it here. Industry that demands SAS skills. It is banking and finance. I put it here. Number one, banking and finance. Number two, insurance sector, where they need your SAS skills. Number three, pharmaceutical and healthcare, where they need SAS. Number four, it goes to telecom, retail, telecom, right? Number five, it goes into retail and e-commerce and many other industries also, right? So that means SAS demand is always there. You can see we're still putting the requirement from the SAS. Once upon a time in DV, people are putting more effort to SAS than any other applications, but now they stopped using SAS. I don't know how this grapevine came, or maybe when I stopped giving training, after that the demand went down. I guess so. SAS demand is still there. Placement is still required. We received requirements with the placement where they need SAS skills very highly, along with Python and SQL. So you cannot ignore SAS, guys. You have to do SAS. Now let's understand SAS Studio. This is the SAS Studio where we're going to work. To get SAS Studio navigations, get login into SAS on demand academy, where you get 5 GBs, 5 GB space for SAS programming in the SAS Studio. So the moment you log in, you get a cloud space of 5 GB where you can start writing your SAS program. You don't have to go for buying the license for this. By default, you will get it. In the SAS Studio, the navigations, the moment you enter, you will be seeing these are the service, server files and folders, task and utility snippets, libraries and file shortcut. We'll talk about each and everything when we do the things practically. Now we have understood how to go for navigating the SAS Studio. Let's start with the SAS programming now. We will start with SAS programming. Before getting the SAS programming, we must understand the data reading in SAS platform. What does that mean? Now let me show you here. The SAS jargon happens. Let's compare to SQL versus SAS. What is it given here? SAS, we call this SQL, we call this as a database. In SAS, we call this as a library. In SQL, we call this as a table. SAS, we call this data set. In SQL, we call this as columns. SAS, we call this as a variables. In SQL, we call this records. In SAS, we call this as an observations. Is this clear to all of you guys?
Yes, sir.
Now, when I say I have a data set, right? So let's say this data set, which I want to call this a student inquiry. Now I need to understand how to go for reading this data set. First of all, this table, which we call data set, we must have a data set name. For this case, I call this as, let's say my data set name is student underscore inquiry. Is my data set. How will I read this? I will read this as variable one. In this data set, I have 7 variables. How will I read this? I will read this as my header, right? Header, this is my headers for my data set. This is my observations. Observation 1 to observation 10. There are 10 observations and 7 variables, right? If I look for student ID, it is alphanumeric, which is called as a character data type. Student name is also called, guys, what? Character. This is called numeric, or we call this as integer in SAS. Then this is also called as character. This is character. This is called date time. And this is my character. If I talk about the whole details of this, what is the dataset name, guys? Student underscore inquiry. If I say number of variables, how many variables are there? 7. If I say number of observations, how many observations are there? 10.
10.
If I say number of character variables in the data set, how many character variables are there, guys?
5.
If I say number of numeric variables, how many?
1.
2. Date time is also part of what? Numeric only. So this is how we should go for reading the data, right? Now thing is that going to the SAS programming window, right? Before getting the SAS program, we should understand the SAS jargons. Yes or no? Now you will be comparing SQL versus SAS. How do you go for reading these, guys? SQL versus SAS. You call this as what? Database. In SAS, we call this as
Library.
library. In SQL, we'll call this as table. In SAS, we call this as
Dataset. Dataset.
in SQL, we call this as column. In SAS, we call this as
Variables.
in
Variables.
SQL, we call this as in SAS, we call this as
Observations. Observations.
okay. So now what we will do here, since we understand this jargon, let's start with the programming. Right? We'll create a programming. Let's start with the SAS programming. What programming I want to do it here? I want to create dataset. Dataset name is student underscore inquiry. I want to define my columns. I will say input. These are my column. I copy these headers and I paste it here. When I paste this, right? I just try to remove the gap in between. So these are my headers, which I copied from where? The Excel. I know student ID is what? Is a character. I'll put a dollar after this, which defines it's a character field. Student name is what? Age is what? Numeric. I'll not keep anything here. Gender is what? Education is what?
Character.
Date of inquiry is what? Date time is a numeric. I'll not do anything. I'll put it here as character. Soon after this, to put this data, I will use cards, or I can use what? Data lines. Both are same. To put the template data, I can use cards or data lines, but let it be happen that I'm using cards. After this card, what I'll do here, I'll copy this data. I know if I copy this data, it will go with what? A tab as a delimiter. But I want to take this as a tab delimiter. What I'll do here, I'll go to this I'll paste it here into the notepad. I'll copy this tab, Control C. I'll say Control H. Where the tab comes, I want to replace this by one space, replace all. Now this is going to my data. I copy this and I paste it here. Okay. Then I'll use run statement. And I want to print my data set. I'll say proc print data. Data is equal to what? I'll just try to I don't know why it is not working. I'm trying to reduce the font. What has happened now? Okay. I take this and I paste it here. You don't have to worry what I did now. I'll just explain one by one. Since I'm reading my data of inquiry, which is coming in which format? DD, YY format. For reading this date format, I have to use in format. My date of inquiry, it is DD- or DD YY 10 dot format. After in format, I will also use format to read the data properly. I'll explain that what is in format after some time. Now, when I run this program, if I click on this, it shows my data set have been created where I have a student name, student ID, student name, age, gender, education, date of inquiry. It is given as date of inquiry and the course details which is coming. I can go for expanding this also here. Right? Now in this student ID is my alpha. A means character, 1, 2, 3 means numeric, date time icon means it is a date time field. This is how I got the data. Now I'll explain what is happening guys here. Now let me create another data set. I'll go for creating data student underscore details. I want to input the student name as a character field, date of birth. Then I want to put education about the student, which is a character field, and the course they opted here, which is also character field. I use cards to put the template data. Let me put the first name as Gagan. Is a student name. Gagan's date of birth, which is coming 1st January 1960. Now Gagan's education is BTech and course is MPIDS. I give it something like this. Second student name, I go for Ria. Her date of birth is 20th January 1960. She is an MTech and has opted for MPIDS. Now I went for another student, which his name is called Koyal, which is given as 12th, 23rd, 2024. MBA and has opted for MPA. So these are something which I wrote it. It makes sense to read the data. Now when I say proc print data is equal to student underscore details, what will happen now? It is created a table, but date of birth is not coming. You got the student name, you got the education, you got the course, but you don't get the date of birth. Why it has happened so? For date of birth, it is coming as what? DDYY format or DDMMYY format. It is coming DDMMYY format. We have to use. Hey guys, please go on mute. Guys, please go on mute. Guys, please go on mute. Okay. If you're using in format as DDMMYY 10 dot. If you're using in format DDMMYY 10 dot, what will happen here? If you run this query, it is not reading the data properly. Why it has happened so? Because let me change this to it is MMDDYY format. Na?
No, that
We are
is
saying this is MMDDYY. It is MMDDYY.
It's
Then
DD,
it is
but we have to format
The
it.
last one is I think MMDD.
right? MMDDYY is coming perfectly now. Okay. So when I run this program now with in format, what is happening here? It is reading 1st January 1960 as happy birthday to SAS. So which is reading this as what? 1st January 1960 as 0 date. Same way, 20th January is reading this as what? 19. So it's reading from that day, 1st January 1960 as 0. Then it's reading this to 1, 2, 3, 4 for this is 19 days. When you're putting this as 23rd December 2024, it is reading the number of days from 1st January 1960, which is 23,733 days. This is called in format. To read the data into SAS format, if you want to write the data into SAS format, you have to write format, date of birth, then you can give it to MMDDYY10. If you run this program here, first it is reading this as in format, then format to write the right date format here. Now guys, I'll be explaining the steps, but before that, there is a note I want to give it here. 1st Jan 1960, SAS in format reads this to what? 0 days. Yes or no? We call SAS happy birthday to what? 1st Jan 1960. Is this clear now? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
sir.
what will happen? Let's say I add one more student to this, whose name is Dev, who joined 1st Jan 1959. Who joined 1959. If you run this program with in format first, comment this, run the program. What is this reading here? Minus 365. Anything before 1st January 1960, it will read this to what? Negative integer. But if you're reading this with what in format to format, what will happen now? It reads this to a proper date format. Is this clear now? Now let me explain the programming steps here. When I write this program, data is a what? Statement to create dataset as what? Student underscore details. And every statement in SAS ends with what? Semicolon. Is this clear now? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we go with what? Input statement to define the column input, and any variable followed with dollar represents to character variable. Yes or no? Does it make sense to all?
Yes, sir.
Right. In format statement we use to read data into SAS format. Format statement we use to write data into SAS format. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is this 10 dot?
10 dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The length of your date value. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here,
Sir, suppose if we write 1st January 1960
Mhm.
in words.
I'll come to that.
Uh,
I'll come there. I'll come there.
uh,
I'll explain now only. No worries. Card statement we use to put temporary data into the dataset formation. Is this clear to all, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We use run statement to execute the program. To execution, we use run statement. Proc print what? Proc print statement to print the output of a dataset in the result window. Okay, I give you guys. Imagine if I run this program without proc print, it goes to output window. It is not coming to result window. But if you are going to run proc print, it will go to your result window. It will not go to your output window. So data to run is for output window. Proc print is for result window. Clear now? Okay. Now this is how we understand. Now we talk about SAS date formats. Somebody raised these questions. Now let me explain that. When I write 01 23 2025, which format it is, guys? DD 10 dot. When I write 2301 2025, which format it is?
DD
10 dot format. When I write 23rd Jan 2025, what does it mean?
What month?
No, it is date 9
9
dot
dot.
format. When I write 01 23 25, which format it is?
MMDT 8 dot.
8 dot format. Are you getting this? Are you getting this, guys, everyone?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Now I'll show you this with an example. Now let me look at here. I say proc print dataset is equal to this format is coming. I go for giving this as format date of birth as MMDD 10 dot. Then I will be printing this here with DD I will be printing this here called date 9 dot. I will be printing this here MMDD 8 dot. Now let me run this program, all four. When I say MMDD it is coming MMDD format. When I say DDMMYY, it is coming DDMMYY format. Can you see this? When I say date 9 dot format, is coming this format. When I say MMDD 8 dot is coming like this. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now we have completed how to go for creating a data set and what are the criteria we need to follow. Now, guys, I have to, yes.
If you're taking the data from Excel sheet,
Ah.
for example, if in that format is MMDD YY8, but we want to read it in
We can do this. We can use
so
informat
format will
MM.
be DDYY8 and format will be DDMMYY10, right?
Okay. Why will you go for the Excel form? Now let's do it here. Shall we do it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do this. It is given this format. You're saying this, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right? So how do you go for reading this data? You'll be reading this as what?
8.
And you'll be writing this as what?
10
dot. But can you see this? It is coming this format now.
Yeah. Yes.
But what? No, I'm using format 10 dot. I can also use 8 dot. Doesn't matter. I can change it to DDMMYY also. I can make it date 9 dot also. See, in format, read the way data is. Format, you write the data the way you want to present it. That's it. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, guys, we'll be doing more practical to understand this. It is not over yet. We'll do a practical to understand how to go for reading data. Then we'll get into permanent data sets. For reading data, creating data set, I'll be doing this from the Excel file, which is given 3 data sets now. I want to create data set 1, data set 2, data set 3. Let's say this is called student inquiry version 1. How will I go for creating this data set? What will I write first? Data. Student underscore inquiry version 1 is my data set name. What will I use here? Input statement. Input statement with what? My column inputs. What will I do here? I'll just try to reduce this tab to a space. Now, first of all, my student ID is what? Character. Student name is what? Character. So if it is a character, what will I do now? What will I do here?
Dollar sign.
What will I do here? What will I do here, guys? What will I do here then? Very nice. Then I'll say cards. When I take the cards, what happens, guys? If I copy this directly from the Excel to here, though I can do it, but we'll do it later, not now. It comes with tab, which is going to create a problem for me. I want to make this as a space. What will I do in this case? I will be going for the notepad. I'll paste this. I'll copy the tab, Control C, Control H. Automatically tab will come. I would be replacing this by what? A space, replace all. It has happened. I can copy this. I can take it to what? Take it to my SAS environment and paste it here. Soon after this, enter. After the last line, put a semicolon and you say run to execute the program. When you will be going for executing this program, this output will come in output window. But if you want to print this to print our result window, what do you write here? Print data.
Print.
Do it here step by step. If I run this program, I can see my dataset has been created into output window. Dataset name is student underscore inquiry version 1. If I run this proc print, I can get the output which is coming here into the output result window in HTML format. I can see student ID, student name, age, gender, education, and the course details. What will I do now? This is an example 1. I'll move for what? The next example, which is called as what? Example 2. In this example 2, what we'll do? I'll go for taking this dataset to be created. What will I write here? Tell me, guys. Data, student inquiry, version 2. I will write what? Input. I'll copy all my header to this. I'll be reducing this to a space in between, right? Soon after I do this, my date of inquiry is coming as what? I'll just put underscore here. Okay. Now I'll say cards. But before that, student ID is what? Student name is what? Age is what? Gender is what?
String.
Character. Course is what? Character. I'll go for copying this data. Where will I paste this data? I'll paste it over here. What I'll do here? Control C, Control H, Control V, and make it to replace all. I can copy this data and I can paste it here. Then I can say run. Now what happens? The date of inquiry, we haven't mentioned anything. If I run this program, what is happening? All the variables came, but date of inquiry is not coming. Because to read date of inquiry, you have to use what?
In format.
In format for date of inquiry, it goes with which format? DDYY 10 dot. You will also go for using what format? Which is the field date of inquiry. What format you want to give it? DDYY 10 dot format. If I run this program now, I can see my dataset has been created with this. What will I do the next thing? I will be doing the next thing is that I will say proc print data is equal to student inquiry version 2. Now it will print output into which window? Result window, right? Now we'll go for example number 3. I'm doing this example intentionally, guys. Why? Because next when I write the program, read the data, you should understand those jargons well. The dataset which I want to create now, what is the dataset name? I'll give it here. Data, student inquiry, version 3. I will use what? Input statement. With what? The column headers. What we'll do here? I'll reduce this tab to a space. Does it make sense to all of you guys? Everyone, yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Student ID is what? Student name is what?
Character.
Gender is what? Education is what?
Character.
Date of inquiry
Character.
course is what? Character. For date of inquiry, what will you use here?
In format.
In which format it is?
MMDDYY.
It is MMDDYY. Then you will use what? Format with what? Or can we do it DDMMYY? We
Yes.
can. For pasting these values, what will you do?
Cards.
You will paste this here. What will you do now first? Copy the tab. Control C. Control
Replace the tab.
H. And replace this by what? A space. Now you can copy this. Now you can copy this to what? To this environment. Then run. What will I do here? Proc print data is equal to student inquiry version 3 and run. If you run this program, what is happening guys here? You get the output here. It's coming.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now every time we run the program, what we see, it goes to whatever datasets we have created today. These all have gone to what? Work
Work
library.
library.
How to check that work library? If you go down here to libraries, if you expand the libraries, if you open the work library, all the temporary data set that we have created since morning, student inquiry, student details, student inquiry version 1, 2, 3, all data sets are here, right? The only disadvantage is the moment I will close the program, everything in the work library is going to vanish. Nothing is going to save, right? So there is a note we want to give it here. All the data sets we created, default, it goes into temporary library, right? As what? Work. In SQL, it goes into what data set? Master database.
Master
So in SAS, it goes into what, guys? Temporary, right?
Library.
Right. Now the next thing is coming here.
Sir, so one
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
So in the previous data set that we created, in the date format, it is hyphen. I mean, the dates are in hyphen, but when we are
But
converting it,
SAS can read this hyphen to DDMM format. See, it's a special character for SAS. It could be this, it could be this, does not matter. It's a special character. The length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it.
I understand, sir, but this hyphen, when we are seeing it in the output or result window, it is coming as hyphen only. But here it is, sorry, as a slash. But here in the data, it is in hyphen.
That is what SAS software inbuilt computation which is running in the backend. I understand your question. SAS reads hyphen but present into slash.
Yes, sir.
But we can also change this to hyphen as well. For that, we will understand the user defined format and informat after some time, not now.
Okay, sir.
But at this time, by default, SAS will throw the date into what? A slash, not as a hyphen. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll come to that. See, in SAS programming, what I can say, it's such a powerful project that the punchline is power to know. Whatever comes to your mind, right? Whatever comes to your mind, that can be solved, that can be answered in SAS. Whatever you say, Mr. Is it possible? That is definitely going to be happening. Okay. Anyways, now even if I have given this class, can I read this data? Check it. Is it reading perfectly? My data is very unstructured, where is hyphen, where is slash, but SAS is reading this. Other applications and software, they'll throw error. Can you see this? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now let me go ahead and think about what is called permanent datasets. In SQL, what we create a database where we store the data. Use the database, we store data into that database. In SAS, we have to create our own library. So how would you go for creating a library? I want to go for creating a library, giving the path in my day one SAS dataset. It is my folder, the path where I want to keep my datasets. What will I do first? I'll go to my folder SAS datasets, right click, I will go to properties, I'll copy my path. I copied my whole path here. First thing is that to create a permanent library, to create a permanent library, we have to follow libname statement. Then you will have libref, which is library reference. Then you will give the path in quotes. Then you will say run. So how do you go for creating a library now? I will create libname. I'll create this. Day one is my library name. I'll give the path in what? Single quote. After that, I will give semicolon. Then I will say run. You know what will happen now? If I run this program in the log window, it gives me libref day one was successfully assigned. Now, since my library has been successfully assigned, I can go to the libraries. I can expand the libraries to see my day one is coming here. But in this day one, I have no data sets. So how would you get your data into the library? For example, the table which you created here at the top, right? I created this word student inquiry version 3. I can just give day one before the dataset and dot. I will be calling this as what? Library reference and dataset to be printed. I can call this as, let's say version 4. Why will I go for repeating this? I'll go at version 4. I have all this unstructured form of the data here. Doesn't matter. If I run this program now, what will happen? It will store my data set, which is called student inquiry version 4. In the output, it shows it has gone to which library? Does it show work library? No. If I go back to the library called day 1, I have a data set which is coming as what? Student inquiry version 1, version 4. Is this clear? So we understood how to go for creating what? A library, right? Now, explain the library and dataset name criteria. So library and dataset name criteria. Now let's start with library name criteria. When I give day 1, something was there in my mind. Why I give day 1? I could have given anything else. So library name criteria, it must not be more than 8 characters long. It must not be more than 8 characters long. It should start with an alphabet or an underscore only. Right? Third, it must follow with alphabets, numbers, and underscore only. So if these 3 criterias are going to be a library name criteria, now let's have a test. Are you ready for this, guys? Can I have a library name day underscore 1? Is it a library name?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can I have day at the rate 1? Can it be a library name? Why?
Yes.
Special character. Can I write day space 1 as a library name?
No.
Can I write session underscore 1? Can it be a library name? Why? No.
Exceeding 8.
Because of
More than 8.
more than 8 characters.
8 characters.
Can I write SSN underscore 1? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope you understand how to give a library name now. Yes or no? Next is the dataset name. Dataset name and variable name criteria. Okay. What is dataset name and variable name criteria? Let me put this way. Answer is this. It must not be more than 32 character long. Rest all remain same. So that means let's go for a test. If I write student underscore inquiry 2025, can it be a dataset name?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Dataset name. Answer is what? Yes. Why? It is less than 32 character long. Can I write hyphen 2025? Why?
No. No.
Okay. Can I write this way? Okay.
No.
Okay. Now let's get into variable name. The variable name is custom underscore ID. Can it be a variable name? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I write product name? Is it a variable name?
No,
No.
Why?
there's a space.
Space is
Can it be a product underscore category? Can it be a variable name?
Yes.
yes.
I hope you understand how to go for creating this dataset name and the variable name. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, we'll talk about explaining the SAS programming steps. Explaining what? The SAS programming steps. SAS programming based on 2 steps. Second one is right. Okay. Data step to create the dataset. Proc step
Print.
to print the data set. At this point of time, this is something we have to remember. When I write this program, this is my data step, right? Starts with data statement and ends with run statement. Is this clear? Right. Proc step starts with proc statement and ends with. Is this clear now, guys? Everyone? Right?
Yes.
Now let's go for a test. Are you ready for the test, guys? Everyone? Okay. So I'll be going for my folder. In the raw data, I want to go for reading a fixed format file. Okay. So which is called fixed format file? This is called fixed format file. Why we call this fixed format file? Now you can see this is the data. If you select this, it's saying below line 1, column 1. If you select this, it's saying line 1, column number 21. Does it make sense, everyone? Right? So this is the data which is given. This is the last name starting from 1 to 20. 21 to 30 is all about your first name. Then 31 to 35 is all about employee code. 36 to 43 is all about job title, pilot or mechanic. Right? 31 to 35. 36 to 44 is all about date of joining. 44 onwards is all about salary. How I know this? If I start keeping my cursor here, it's saying 1. If I keep my cursor here, it's saying column 21. If I keep my cursor here, right? If I keep my cursor over here, which is saying 36. If I keep my cursor over here, we're saying 44. If I keep my cursor over here, it's saying 54. Right? So how to go for reading this data? First of all, in the SAS, what will I do here? In the raw data, I will be creating a folder I call fixed format data. So I'm going to get here the fixed format data. I will say right click, upload the file. From where I will upload the file, choose the file which is in C drive. I go for SAS 2025-10 day 1 data. I have a data file which is called A2 staff fixed format file. I'll just say OK and upload. Now you can see the file has been uploaded to this folder here. Yes or no? If I right click and say open, I can see the data which is coming here. It is given in what? A text format file. Now how to go for reading this file? I will write here data day 1 is my library. Staff dataset. Here I will use in file. Why I'm going to give you in file? Because I'll not use cards. I'll use in file. In file, I'll give the file path. Going here to the file properties, copy the file path. This is my file path. What will I define here? My column input. Column input says that, let me open the file. Okay, so now I can show you here. The column input says that this is my last name. So I write last underscore name, which is dollar. Since it's a fixed format file, I've defined the length 1 to 20. Then write what? First underscore name. It's a character starting from 21 to 30. Then I'll go for the next is what? Employee code, which is given as dollar 31 to 35. Then we'll go for what? Job title, which is dollar 36 to 43. Then we'll go for date of joining, which is in which format? MMDDYY 8 dot MMDDYY 8 dot format. Then we'll go for salary, which is 54 to 59. I don't put here dollar because it's a numeric format. Then I say run and I will say proc print data is equal to day 1 dot step. Am I missing anything here? Am I missing anything here to read the data? Hey guys, am I missing anything here to read the data?
In format or format.
Format.
In format to what? Right? So you can give this in format after input statement or before input also. In format to data of joining as what? Ready? YY?
Eight.
You can use format data of joining to what?
10 dot.
If I'm giving this here, I don't have to define this here. This will take care. Now, if I run the program, I see my data set has been created. My last name has come up. My first name has come up. My employee code has come up. My this is also coming. Right?
So if we define the format, the date format along with the other variables. So do we still need in format and format?
Yes. SAS reads through informat. SAS writes through format. You have to write that. Is this
Okay.
clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now I'll have a test. Example test. Ready for the example, guys?
Yes, sir.
What do you say? Shall we go for doing it? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let's ask here. Create a data set with fixed format. Keep the variable as order ID. I have to stop this. Stop. Order ID. Order date. Customer ID. Oh, it's my mistake. Are you getting this, guys?
Yes, sir.
This is creating a fixed format data. Now let me copy this. Okay. What I'll do here is giving the length. Can you see this? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, how will you go for reading this data? Normally in SAS, we don't do this. But I'm giving you this because sometimes the data may not be in a very structured form. It comes in a fixed format. You should be knowing how to read this. I say data prod underscore sales. Now, you will use what? Input. What is the field name? Order ID. Order date. Let me see here. Customer ID, customer name, customer ID, customer name, date of birth, product name, price, and sales, right? You can give it as prod name, price, and sales. Okay. Now, let's take this data, copy this, open a notepad, paste this. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now, this is the data which will save it. Control S. Where do you want to save this file? Fixed format file. And I call this as what? Prod underscore sales text file. Is this clear now? What will I do now for SAS? In this, upload a file, choose the file, prod sales, get the file and upload. Now you get a prod sales file here, right click, open, you can see it's a fixed format file, correct? Now, how do you go for reading this data? Now, if you're going for this, you will go for
File.
In file. What file format you will give it here? Properties, copy this file path and paste it here. Yes or no? Order ID is what? numeric, where is the data? Read this from here. Order ID is what? Character.
First three are numeric.
Right. So just go here. Put it as a character. Starting from 1 to. How many characters is suggesting here? 1 to
10.
say 1 to 10. Order date is what?
Numeric.
It is YYYY, DD and MM or MMDD? It is
DD.
MMDD. Okay, it is MMDD. Correct? So how do you go for giving this? In format of what? As what? And? Yes or no? Right. You also have given date of birth is also same format. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So put it here. Date of birth also. Both order date and date of birth is what? YYY MMDD format. How do you read this now? As what? You know why it is coming YYY MMDD format? Because in the backend it writes the code in what? Python. Are you getting this? This is the Python format has come, but we are taking this to what? SAS now. Now order date is gone. Customer ID. What's the customer ID you need to read? 23 to? Is it a character numeric?
Character.
Can you please repeat that? 21 to 33.
23, sir.
Right. Now what will do here? Customer name. This is from. So give it as 35 to. Though we can do it manually by counting, but since it is given and we are just trying to save the time. This is given as what? Product name, which is what? Character. It is from 63 to. Now you have a price. Price for what? 82 to. Sorry, how much it is from?
82 to 18.
80.
8.
And sales is what? 1996. Okay, now let's run this program and see what is happening. Is this going to work? No, I got error. Sorry? For whom? Order date DOB is defined here only, na?
After prop
No.
print also we
No.
haven't wrote run.
Okay, now look at here, guys. Now this is the code which we wrote it. From where? What we read in the data. Now get the SAS code to create the above dataset. We'll see where we're doing the mistake now. Okay. So we are supposed to use what? Copy this. Go here. This input statement will be replacing by what? This way. Is reading everything as character. Is it right? Right? So why it has happened so? Because the output has come from where? Now you can see the output is, oh my God. Oh, sorry. So we have to use your what cards then, right? But no, let me create this from the infile statement only. No, I understood what you're saying. What I'm saying, हम इसको challenge देंगे अभी, ठीक है? So now in this data file, what is happened, guys? Here, it's starting from this position. Now look at the position in the data file. This is starting from 1, ending at what? 12. Look at the program. हम क्यों उसको follow करेंगे? अपने हिसाब से करेंगे. 1 to, is this clear now?
Yes.
Order date. We will not give
13.
any length to that because we are doing it here. Clear now? Now customer ID. Starting from which position? 23. Ending at what? 33. 23, 33 is correct. Look at the customer name. Starting from 30. Okay. Let it be 34. Going until what? Sorry? 49. So put it here as what? Now date of birth. Will not put anything. Product name starts from where?
61.
Going until what?
79.
79. Price starting from
80.
going until what?
86. 86.
86, 87 doesn't matter. Right? Now this is starting from,
7.
sorry,
87.
you will say as what?
87.
Ending at what?
93. 92.
हम करके देखते हैं अपने डेटा के साथ.
So there we have
Does it come
mentioned
now?
date of
It is coming. It is coming. Date of birth is given as date of birth. But we have taken as what? Oh, this is DOB.
Yes, sir.
No worries. कर लो उसको change. We'll see what the challenge is. Rest all is coming perfect, correct? What is missing here?
Yes.
Order ID is also
Order
having a problem. So order ID is going to reduce by 1. Do it. Does it come now? What is missing here? Order date.
Date.
Why it is missing here? Why it is missing here? Because in the data, it is coming with what? Right? YYY which is Python format. SAS can read this, but SAS has to read this now in a character. So in the character means what is the character starting with? 12. Ending with what? Right. So give it here as $. 12 to 21. Date of birth also going as what? Read this as a character now, since the error is coming from Python. Is from what? 50. Going to end at what? 59. So call this as 52. Run this code. Does it come now? You got the data? You understood how to go for reading this data now? Later, since it is a character, we have to convert to a date format. We'll understand how to use functions for that. But it's an unstructured data for you, but we got to know how to read the fixed format file. Clear now? This dataset goes to which library?
Work library.
Because we haven't defined the library. We have to call this as, if I do it day one dot this, then it goes to my day one library. Now tell me in my library as day one, how many datasets I have now? I have 3 datasets, which I have created now. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So as we are defining the data as a character, so we don't need to give the informant and format in this case.
So can you please repeat that? What did you say now?
So date as we are defining it as a character, or do we need to give informant and format in this
No,
case?
no, you're right. No, it's not required. It's not helping at all anything.
Yeah.
Okay. But informat format will use later, not now. In this example, it is called unstructured data. Being a data scientist, our life goes 70% with unstructured data. Trust me, before you go for developing model, you have to clean the data. This is what? An example. Now, you know why people give data in fixed format? It occupies less memory. It stores data with less size. If you send data with any special character as a delimiter, it will increase the file size. If you are giving in fixed format, it will reduce the file size. That is why people, they use large data into fixed format, and they will be asking how to read this fixed format file. Is this clear now? Okay. Now, we'll talk about here variable types and length. Right? Variable types and length. There are 2 types of variable. One is numeric, second one is character. When it comes to length, number one, character variable default length is 8 characters and max is 32,767 characters length. Does it make sense? Character
Yes, sir.
variable default length is 8 characters and max is 32,767 characters length. Now, numeric variable default length is 8 bytes, which is equals to 16 to 17 digits. Wonderful, Adarshit. Wonderful. Are you getting this, guys? Right? It is coming as what? 16 to 17 digits. Now let's do an example. Right? I'll create a data set here. Data, student, details, DV. Input would be what? Student name. I put it as a character. Okay. Then I put it here. Date of inquiry. Then I put it here, their education background and the course they want to go for. Now this is something I want to write here. I will be using cards. Education is what? Character. This is what? Character. Date of inquiry is what? In format mmddyy 10 dot. Then I'll use what? Format. Date of inquiry is what? mmddyy 10 dot. Yes or no? Then I'll be using what? Cards to put the temporary data. Let's say I put the name as Padma Vati. It is more than 8 character. Inquiry 02/01/2025. Education MTech Advanced Program in Data Science. Is this clear now? Next name is Kalyani. Has done inquiry 02/23/2025. A BTech student, advanced programming, data analytics. I want to ask you something. Proc print data is equal to, right? If you run this program, did you get the output coming perfectly? What is happened here? By default is reading up to what? 8 characters. By default is reading up to what? 8 characters. Does it go beyond that? Sometimes we feel like no, data is coming correct. No, data is not coming correct. You have to look for the variable values length as well. So length is not coming perfect here. So what to do here to get your length perfectly? Exactly. So how do you assign the length? You will use colon to what? $30 dot. Then you use a colon to define the length to 50 dot. Now run this program. Does it work? It is working. Is this clear now? Is this clear? Very good. Right. Okay. Would you like to go for a small break, guys, here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So now we are going to complete how to go for importing data from different file formats. Okay. So first of all, we'll go for creating. Let me start with data importing from the Excel SX file, .csv file and text file. For that, what I'll do here in this raw data folder, I want to create another folder to this called data importing files. In this, what I'll do here, I have a folder which is called data reading from files. May 2023.csv text file and Excel file is given. I want to go for reading all these three files to my SAS environment. So what I'll do first, right click, I'll say upload files, choose the file location. I'll choose this file location, select all three files, then say OK, and upload all the three files here. So now you have all these three files over here. Let me go back to the folder. The Excel file which you have it, this file is having a sheet name made_Australia, which you want to read from this file to your SAS environment. So how do you go for doing this? For reading data from the Excel file, you will write here. So before going for reading your data file, so you have to use something called options valid var name is equal to v7. Why we are doing it? If any variable name format, it will automatically read this to SAS format. So now I'll write here proc import out is equal to day1 dot, it's a May 2023. I just give the file name as Excel, just giving the file name so they can understand it here. Then I'll write here data file where I will right click the properties, copy this file path and put it here. Then dbms is equal to xlsx, replace. Sheet name is going to be what? Okay. So, sorry?
You have written ASU, it's AUS.
Right? Australia, then you go for run the program here. If you run this program, what you see, your data has been imported. It is having 5,112 rows, 24 columns. This dataset has gone to day1.library. Library reference dataset name is made_2023 Excel. This is how reading data from. Now we will start with reading data from CSV file. So how will you go for doing this? You will be just copying this path from here, change it to this path, CSV replace, and in CSV there is no sheet. If you run this program, you get this output here coming. Yes or no? Understood? Okay.
Yes.
If you want to read the data from text file, how do you go for reading data from TXT file? Simply the same file, everything is same. This is going to be what? TXT. Now let's go into text file, right click and open to see the delimiter. What is the delimiter is given here? Vertical bar, which is pipe. So that means you write what? DLM replace. What is the delimiter? How do you read this file? Vertical bar. If you run this program, does it come perfectly, everyone? Is this clear? Right. Now this is how we go for reading data. Now how to go for exporting data? If I want to export this data, I'll go for, let's start with, while exporting, you don't have to use options valid var name. We say you don't have to do. Now you call this as writing or exporting data to XLSX file. Right. So how will you go for writing data, writing or exporting data to XLSX file? You will write what? Let me write the program completely here. Proc export data is equal to, let's say, day1 dot start. Right? What will I write here? Out file is equal to, you would be giving the file path into SAS output folder. You have an output folder here. Can you see this? I want to give this path here, and I'll give the file name as, call, let's say, employee salary dot XLSX. What will I write here? DBM is XLSX replace. No need to give any sheet name here. Or you want to give a sheet name, you can write sheet is equal to employee underscore salary. Then you can go for giving this as what? Run. If you run the program here, what is happening? You can see there's an Excel file has come, which is called employee salary. If you download the file, you can see this file is coming here, where the data is stored into Excel file. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Is
Yes,
this
sir.
clear? Clear now? Okay. Now, if you want to writing or exporting data to CSV file, what will you change the extension to? CSV. What will write here? CSV replace, and you would be removing this. Okay. Now, what you'll do here, you will write download the file. If you can go here and see, this is the file which is understood.
Yes, sir.
Right. If you want to export this file to which file? Text file.
Yeah.
So how do you go for exporting text file? You write what? And you write what? And write what? Is equal to what? Right? Download the file. Is this clear now, guys? How data has been exported to comma delimited file? Okay, so now we have completed your importing and exporting data. Is this clear to all of you? Right?
Sir, do we see the output window only while importing a file?
What we see what?
The output window. Earlier we saw everything in the results window, but then when you were importing the file,
Okay,
we
when you
saw
are
an
exporting
output
the
window.
file, you see in the log window where it says that this exporting is happened. The below message says that there were 18 observations read from this dataset, which has been already 18 records created into this folder path. The file name is what? employee.txt. If this message comes, that means your dataset has been exported. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. While importing a file,
Hmm.
we saw the output window.
You can see the output, but when you're exporting this, you will not see in the output when it is exported. The dataset which is existing, you're exporting to a different file format, and that goes to store in a folder path, which is SAS output, and the file formats are CSV, text file, and Excel file. How to see this file now? You can right click, you can open here. For example, you can open to see this file, or you can simply download the file to see in your drive where the file is stored.
Yes, sir. So my question was, like while importing, we saw the output window, but earlier when we were creating the database, we never saw the output window. We only saw the results window.
See what is
Everything was
happening when you're
printed in.
importing this. When you're importing this, you're creating a data set, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you create the data set, by default, you'll go to the output window. Whenever we follow this data set, whenever we create the data set, for example, if I run this program now, I'm creating data set. It will show in the output window. While I'm running this program here, what does it mean? I'm creating a data set that is called made underscore 2023 underscore Excel. This is the data set name. If I run this program, the data set is created means it will come in the output window.
Yes,
But
sir.
when your data is getting exported, it will not come into output window. It's just the exporting happening. In the log window, it will say export complete successfully. How many records have already loaded to the export file path?
But I think what she's trying to ask is that when you are just hard coding, creating a table, so we are seeing it results window. But
No,
when
no,
you
no,
are
no. So what's he saying? Whenever you are creating, importing data, it shows in the output window. When you are exporting data, why it is not showing in the output window? Is this the question she asked?
That's part of my question, sir. Another question was, while we were creating the data set earlier before importing, then also we saw it in the results section, not in the
No,
output window.
result section you saw it after running proc print.
Okay, got it.
Without running proc
Got
print, you
it.
cannot see the result in result window.
All right, sir. All right, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Now we'll talk about here how to go for describing your library and describing your datasets. How to go for describing datasets? Library first. You will write here proc to describe library, you will use proc contents. What light here? Proc contents data is equal to day one. No. It is going to be 1 minute, guys. Let me see this. Proc contents library is equal to underscore all underscore. Something is like that, right? 1 minute. Yeah. So you will write here proc content data is equal to day one dot underscore all underscore. If you run this program, what will happen? It is going to give you in your library day one. It is in version 9. The library path is given. Below it says that the number of datasets, member type. How many datasets you have? You have 4 datasets inside this, right? Now each dataset, it is going to describe how many observations, how many variables. Now where the file path, where this dataset is located. Each variable is going to give the details about their variable, their data types, length, format, in format. Any label has been used to this. It is going to come. Now what will happen here? If you say proc contains data is equal to library dot underscore all underscore nods, means no description. If you do that, it is just going to give you the library and the list of datasets inside. Now going back to here, if I say to describe datasets, so how do you go for describing the dataset here? You will write proc contains data is equal to day one dot, the table name is what, made underscore 2023 Excel. If you run this program, what is happening here? It is describing in 3 format. One is called the content procedure, the host engine, and the variable details, right? Here it shows that dataset name is made underscore 2023 to the Excel. It is having 5112 observations, 24 variables. What is the maximum variable length? Below here, it is given the observations in alphabetical ascending order. It is not given as per the sequence of the dataset. If you want to get the sequence of the datasets, what you'll do here first, you will use an option called VANNum. If you run VANNum, what is happening? It shows you all the variables in proper order. Sequence is what? 1 to 24 variables order. It shows num means numeric, length, and what is the label? Customer ID is called customer ID. Company is called company. What is the label means? How these variables going to look like when you print the dataset. If you want to list, if you want to print only the headers, to print only the headers, what you'll do here? You will write van name, you'll use short. If you do that, what is happening? It is going to give you the list of variables in the dataset like this. Is this clear now, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
Did you see this? Okay. This is how we can get this output. Now I'll have a test. Test is that I will say describe day one dot staff dataset and get the list of variables in the dataset. How to do that? Proc equal to staff. Then if you do this, you got it here, everyone? Okay. Now next question, get the datasets, list of datasets, get the list of datasets in the work library. How to get that? Only the list of data sets. Contents data is equal to work underscore all, then
Not.
it is going to show you the list of data sets you have in the work library. Can you see these guys? These are what catalogs, which is there in the work library, not which, but these are the data set which you have, right? Okay. Now next is how to copy data sets from one library to another. How will you go for doing this? Let's say I want to get student inquiry from where? Work library to my, let's say in the work library, what I have. I want to get this student inquiry data sets from work library to day one. How will I do this? Copy in. In is what? Work. Out is equal to what? Day one. Now, what I write here? Select what is the data set name I said. If I do that, what will happen now? It is copied from where? Work library. It has gone to day one. You can see that here. Copying work student inquiry day one to day one dot student inquiry. It is copied and 10 observations have been affected. Okay. Next is called list report. Up to this is clear to everyone, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll go for list report. Okay. What is list report? For example, if I write proc print data is equal to day one dot staff. What is happening? It is printing the entire data set here. Now, what I'm doing here, I use to select where. Select the variables like last underscore name, first underscore name, then job title, and you can say salary. If you run this program, what is it happening? Last name, first name, job title, and the salary is coming. I can also do it here, write some salary. If I write some salary, what will happen? In the list report, it's saying that salary and the total sum is coming. If I write here, format, salary, $15 dot. What does that mean? I'm going to print this output with dollar currency format. Does it make sense? Right. Now, this is what I created my data set. Now, if I want to print this, I want to create a report out of this. What I'll write here? ODS, PDF file. I'll give the file path to my, where I'm doing this class now. Day one, I can go to the output folder path, properties. I can simply go and copy the path here. I call this as staff.pdf. Then I write ODS PDF close. In between, I will write, this is the masala. While I'm writing the masala, I will also give the title to this report called staff salary report. This is the title. I will also give a footnote to this report. What footnote? All employees are happy because they get their salary report. Now, if I run this program, what is happening? This list output is going to store into a PDF file format. Now you can see there's a title called staff salary report. There is all employees are happy as a footnote. This is the total output is going to come, and where this output stores into a PDF file, which is called staff.pdf. Right click, download the file. You can see the file has been downloaded here into a PDF report, where you can read the PDF report with what? A date when it was generated, the title of this report, and the footnote is coming here. All employees are happy. Now you can take a printout. You can publish this in the website of the company also. This is how SAS works through the ODS. Is this clear now, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In ODS, all the reports goes in SAS. All the ODS, HTML report. I can make this as a HTML format now. I can create this as ODS HTML file, and I'll give the extension to HTML. I can store this file with HTML close. I can send it to Word file also. If I run this program, I can see my output will come in HTML format now. See, it is coming in HTML format, Google Chrome. This is the HTML format. Directly, it can be go and published to the website, right? And if you want to see SAS ODS report, I can show you here. SAS ODS PDF reports image. You can find out SAS creates this type of report which you see here. These all are coming from SAS ODS reports. Let me create something like this. Can you see this? This SAS
Yes, sir.
ODS report, this type of reports, color background and all. This is also an example of SAS ODS reports. But we make very differently. You will never realize that it is coming from SAS because everything is written SAS, ODS or HTML code. But just the beginning, I showed you very simple examples. Don't get into this very hardly now. Just wait for some time. Okay. Are you getting this, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now it is clear. In the list report, we can limit the printing output. What does it mean? I can go for print this data set here saying ops is equal to 10. What will happen now? It will just print the first 10 observations. I can also say that print first ops is equal to 5 and ops is equal to 10. You can see here it is coming 5 to 10. You can also see here first ops is equal to 5 to this is also going to be 5. What you see here also coming here, yes or no? So this is how we are going to create this as what? Call this as my how to go for selecting the observations, limiting the observations. Now the next thing is coming, how to create a new data set from an existing data set. For example, I want to create data staff set day one dot staff. What does it mean? In this work dot staff data set is created from day one dot staff data set, right? We use set statement to copy data set from one live from one
Table to
to another. Okay, got it now? If I run this program, it says that the staff dataset has gone to work.staff. If you go to the log window, it says there were 18 observations read from the dataset day1.staff. The dataset work.staff has 18 observations and 6 variables. How much real time, how much CPU time, how much system CPU time took to process this data. Now below here, it is just given that by default, it is coming with no times that we'll discuss when we talk about the options and functions. But at this time, this is how we go for reading what? The log window. Now, what I'll do here, I will be creating. Now, the next thing is coming here as a test. We have a data set called create a data set name as made store from made underscore 2023 underscore Excel data set. So how to write a program for these guys?
data made underscore
Data made underscore
store
then
that med 2023 Excel.
you will go for day one dot made underscore 2023 underscore Excel because this data set has been stored into which library? Day one.
Okay.
If you run this program, did you get the made stories coming? Everyone, right? Now, how to create a new data set by renaming variable, keeping variables and dropping variables. For example, I have data staff version 1 set day 1 dot staff. If I run this program, it is day 1 dot staff. If I run this program saying proc print data is equal to staff version 1. First of all, my question, this dataset goes to which library?
Work library.
This dataset reading data from which library? And which dataset? This dataset reading data from which library?
Day one staff data
Day
set.
1 dot staff dataset, right? Now, if you run the program, what is happening here? The same dataset is being printing. If I give a condition saying that keep last underscore name, first underscore name, then job title, right? Then I'll call salary. What is happening here? Those columns are coming here, right? If I say drop, right? Drop as employee code and date of joining. Something was there, right? Okay, let me do this way here. So I want to drop as what? Date of joining and employee code. Okay, perfect. So now, if I said drop as a statement, employee code and date of joining, what will happen now? Is this clear now? Is dropping those two variables by reading this?
Yes.
If I say rename as a statement, last underscore name to L name, and I say first underscore name to F name, I go for job title to designation, I go for employee code to PSID, people's ID. Okay, I rename these variables in what? To create this data set, right? By reading it. If I run this program, what is happening? It is coming as what? Last name, first name, PSID, job title spelling is wrong. Okay, no problem. Do it one more time. Does it come? Designation, date of joining, and salary. So this is how we go for using rename to rename the variable, drop to drop the variables, keep to keep the variable by the time of reading this. Okay. Now I'll have a test. Okay. Number 1, create a data set called made 2025 from made 2023 Excel. Yes or no? Right. Second, keep the variable as customer underscore ID, company, gender, age, state underscore company, state underscore code, number of trips, and spend underscore amount. Is this clear now? Third, it's saying that rename customer underscore ID equal to sub ID, right? Company equals to business, right? Then age equal to customer age. Then state underscore code is equal to province. Code is equal to province. Now this is something we have to answer now. How to go for doing this? Data made underscore 2025. Set as what?
One made underscore 2023.
2023. Keep as what?
Customer ID, company, gender, age, state code, number of trips, and spent amount.
Number of. Then what will you use here?
Rename customer ID equals to sub ID.
Then
Company equals to business. Then age equals to customer age.
Then
State code equals to province.
then
Semicolon. Run, then semicolon.
if I run this program, I'll get my dataset ready with the name called May 2025. What the name has been changed to business, gender, customer is province, number trees, and the spend amount. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone? Right.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll talk about how to filter values based on the criteria using operators and the operands. For example, let me create data made all, right? Set dataset name is called day1 dot May 2023 underscore Excel. This is what data set. What I want to keep here, keep customer underscore ID, company, gender, age, state underscore code, and I take it as spend underscore amount. Okay. What I do here, I want to filter a light where condition company is equal to Apple. It should be in what? Single quote or double quote. And gender is equal to, right? Now what will happen? I'll show you the error first. In the data set, if you run the program, you don't see any output here. The question is coming, why the output is not coming? Because in the data set, female is written as what? Capital F, rest all small. It is case sensitive. If you run this program, you see made all is coming where you have taken data for Apollo and female. How many observations are coming totally? 388. In this, we call where is a statement for conditional output. Company is an operand. Equal sign is an
Operator.
operator. Right? Apollo is a conditional value. Same way, you are saying and is an operator. Right? Then gender is an operand. Equal sign is an right. Female is a conditional. Did you understand, guys? Everyone?
So, are the values case sensitive or are the variable names?
Values are case sensitive, not variable name. Your voice is low. Can you please be a little bit louder?
Yes, that was my question, sir.
No, I'm not able to hear you properly.
Sir, my question was, are the
No,
values?
still I'm not able to hear you properly. Is it happening to me or everyone? Is the voice clear to everyone?
Her volume is very low.
Everyone.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Can you please repeat your question again?
Sir, you have already answered my question. It was, are the values only case sensitive or are the variable
Oh.
names also case
In
sensitive?
SAS, values are case sensitive, not the dataset name or and variable name. Dataset, library, and variable name. Only the values are case sensitive. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now there are 4 types of operators. What are those? Logical operator. Who are they? And, or, in, not in. These are examples. Second is comparison operator, right? So who are they? Greater than,
Greater
less
than,
than,
equal to,
greater than equal to, less than
less
equal
than,
to,
Not
not equal to.
and equal to.
Third is spatial operator, right? Like, between, and. Then the fourth one is arithmetic operator, right? Who are they? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Now let's do this one by one here.
Sir, in comparison operator, equal to will also come, no?
Yeah, equal to is also covered. Okay. Now let's do it one by one. When you say, here is an example, and gender is equal to female. What is happening here? It is going for both condition, Apollo and female. Both condition meets, it is going to get the output. But if you say or, for Apollo, it will take all the gender, male, female, unisex. But rest all companies will go for female. So here, the number of counts are going to come in as what? 3598. For Apollo, you can see female. For Apollo, you can see male. But rest all companies, you can see only female. Can you see this? Clear now, guys? Okay. Then, in operator, when you say values more than one company in, it is going to what? Apollo, Cipla, Geno, bracket close. When you want to go for more than one, you will go for what? In operator. Now you can see it is giving you Apollo, Cipla. Oh, made all Apollo, Cipla company in this. Okay. What is wrong? Achha, or you have written. I say and. If you run this query, what is happening here? It is coming for Apollo, Cipla, Geno only companies. Right? If you say not in, what does it mean? If you say not in, apart from Apollo, Cipla, Geno is going to get rest all companies. Can you see this? So this is where we go for using logical operator. Now, how to go for comparison operator? Example for the comparison operator, where company not equal to Apollo, right? And spent, let's say age greater than equal to 50. So you're going to select all the customer apart from Apollo, where the customer age is what?
Greater than equal to 50.
Is this clear now? This is just an example of what? Your comparison operator, spatial operator. What you're doing here, state code, you put town also. Now you are giving this condition where town like K percentage. It will pull all the town name which is starting with the alphabet name as what? K. Does it make sense? When you say I want to pull the town name ending with K, you like what? Percentage K. Is going to pull out all the town name where the town is ending with alphabet K. If you say I want to pull the town name where K is an alphabet in between, I will say percentage K, percentage. What is happening now, guys? Here it is going to be K, which is coming in between also is going to call. Yes or no? Yes, sir. If you say any town name starting with alphabet K followed by 4 characters, K 1, 2, 3, 4, it is going to search any town name starting with K with 4 alphabets. Is pulling out these all town name where it's starting with K and followed by 4 alphabets. Are you getting this? Right. Now, what is called between and? For example, I'm writing here where company is equal to Apollo and age between 50 and 70. When I write like this, he's going to pull the data as what? Company is equal to Apollo, age between 50 and 70, which includes 50 and 70 also, and in between the values. This is how we talk about this. What is arithmetic operator? For example, data prod underscore sales, right? Input prod price Jan sales pave underscore sales. I give some number. Let's say cards. I go for cards to put this as Apple. Price is 30. Sold out 800 and 900 here. Then go for orange. Price is 35. Sold out 400 and 500. Then go for grapes. 40. Sold out 400 and 600. Now I go for running this program here. What is it happening now, guys? Proc print data is equal to what? Prod sales. I get my output is coming here. Yes or no? Product price and this. I can say data prod sales, same data set this. I want to create an expression. Jan revenue. How will I get the Jan revenue? Jan underscore sales multiplied with what? Price. Right. Same way, you will also go for Feb revenue. How will you go for this? Feb underscore sales multiplied by what is it happening now? If you go for what is this? It is multiplied to get this output, right? If I want to calculate total sales, how will I do this?
Sum of Jan revenue.
Now total sales is going to Jan sales plus Feb sales.
Sales.
Now if I say total revenue is going to be plus Feb revenue. If I want to calculate the delta, what is that? Feb revenue over Jan revenue minus 1. Are you getting this? If I run this program, what is going to happen now? It is happening that from prod sales, I did these expressions using arithmetic operator. Yes or no? I can present this data using what? Format. Format to what? Price. Right? And Jan revenue and Feb revenue. Right? And total revenue as what? $10 dot. Yes or no? Then I can put delta in which format? Percent 5.2. So ultimately, my output will come this way. It is coming in dollar format. It is coming in what? Percentage format. Does it make sense to all, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Got it? So this is where we have completed now up to this.